I don't know what was said. What's happening?
I don't know. I just got
Yeah.
here.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, so I'm recording now. 'Cause I just always
Oh,
no,
Fuck
I
yeah.
just
gamer.
no, I literally just said it like 10 seconds ago.
Hell yeah.
Because what's an intro? Because honestly, I do need to figure that out. What the fuck to do for an intro?
Da-da-da, 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 movie.
Woo! Welcome back, everyone, to Attention Not Included. I'm Klaus McHamster. Joined by two people. One of them's name is Bree.
Hello.
And today's guest, because Mixeyyy sadly was not able to join us yet again for the podcast, you know, work be like that, is Kittyman.
Yeah.
Expect a lot of this today. How is everyone? How y'all doing?
No one's saying anything at the same time. I'm doing good, man. How are
Well,
you
I
doing?
asked, for fuck's sake.
I was gonna let the lady go first. I was gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna let my girlfriend go first."
Nah,
no,
fuck that shit. No.
yeah, fuck that.
Wow.
Fuck
Wow.
Chivalry's dead, and so is feminism. No.
Damn. All right. Good start.
Beat you up. You're going to get beat up.
Probably.
How you doing, Kitty man? How's your day? How's your
good,
week?
man? It was I can't complain. I
Yeah.
mean, I can. I probably should, but not on here.
Mhm.
But otherwise, I mean, you know, I've been working, all that good stuff. When I'm not working, I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
Take that as you will.
Yeah, I got some
Masturbation.
visions. Yeah, that's where I was going with that one. Yeah, that's like pleasant thoughts.
Uh-huh.
Pleasant
So,
thoughts.
as you may know, I don't know if you listen to the podcast. You should. But we also have another thing called the Bree metric of the week. It's become a staple at this point. I should trademark it. That'll be interesting. But what was your
You should
Bree
trademark
metric?
my metric?
Yes.
What is going on here?
That's capitalism at its finest. What food you been eating? What's some highlights of foods?
Me?
Yeah.
No, Jesus. Who else?
Oh, well, some call me that. But well, last night I made some delicious Reubens.
Ooh.
Because I had a whole bunch of ciabatta bread just kind of chilling
Okay.
around, and I was like, you know what? We're at the store. I need to do something with that bread because Walmart bread loves to die at random intervals. Doesn't matter what time it is, it'll just and mold up. So I was like, I'm gonna make some fucking Reubens. So I got a bunch of roast beef, had some sauerkraut already, and got some more cheese. I got Havarti
Havat.
because that shit is soft as fuck,
Mhm.
unlike me, and it melts so good. And we put some mayo on there. My sister wanted mayo and mustard because, hey, you know what? People are different, and I'll allow that.
Yeah.
Um.
Do you have
No,
sauerkraut on it?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. It's not a Reuben without the sauerkraut.
I
This is
don't
true.
think I like sour
Because it's pickled cabbage.
pickles are
Yeah.
stinky.
I think that's the only way I could have sauerkraut is if it's on a. Other than that,
That's
I don't like it on a
understandable.
hot dog. I don't like it on a hot dog.
Yeah,
I don't
because
think
it
I've ever had one.
complements each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Remy told me.
Yo,
Anyone can cook.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that
That's
no,
a
that was
fancy rat. He
that's the chef guy. That
Who the
wasn't
fuck is calling?
Remy. It was.
Sorry, I apologize. No, someone was calling me on Discord. I'm like, I'm in the middle of a podcast, Reno.
How unprofessional! Not to you, that person.
Wow.
How dare you!
No, in fact, you know, no. You brought up a great point. Time to go in the red. Do not disturb.
Well,
Wow, I'm just proceed.
Yeah. Proceed. What other foods have you had? You had anything else other than Reubens? Anything of interest?
He's calling me on my phone.
This is a needy motherfucker.
Persistent.
No, I didn't. I'm not eating him.
Oh, I mean, no judgment. Yeah.
I mean, you're right. I get enough gays a week. I had cheesecake for
Fuck yeah.
dessert last night as well.
Mhm.
What? You didn't
Um,
give me any? You didn't ship any over?
It's cheesecake.
right.
All right. All like just no.
Yeah, I'll ship
It's
it. You'll
cheesecake.
get it, but it won't be edible.
Just
That's the thought
you-
that counts, right? You got your Valentine's gift, okay? um, then earlier this week I tried some the hot and spicy spam
yeah.
Oh,
for I made some breakfast sandwiches with them because the best way to make spam, in my opinion, is to fry them up in a pan because
Spam pan.
the spam pan. Mostly because the best way to eat those, in my opinion, is I like the crunchy like outside it gets, like the nice little
Mhm.
crust it gets, because all the fat like just kind
You
of just
cook it.
melts and you just cook it, dude.
Mhm.
Cook it. And I know there's some people out there, some heathens that like to just take a spoon, just eat it out of the can.
Wait, what?
Apparently,
Slice that
Frozen's
shit.
father,
Oh,
Frozen's
yes, that's
father,
true.
apparently just eats it out of the can.
Ooh.
Yeah, Frozen has said that in my
Um,
stream. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And I'm just like, I mean, yeah, you can eat it that way, sure, but like, there's better ways. So
Yes, like human ways of eating
there's
spam.
normal people ways of
Are you
inhaling
sure?
spam.
Mhm.
Even though spam is like super not good for you. Holy shit, the amount of sodium in that stuff
Will
is
never
insane.
eat
Oh, yeah.
spam.
You will when I make it, ma'am. But
Well
I guess so.
she doesn't realize that if she doesn't eat what I cook, she's just not eating.
Well, that's the day when Bree dies, apparently. No.
Oh man, are you gonna put pickles on everything?
God no, Rhea. We're still-
If you don't eat this.
if you don't, you will face your fears and inhale pickle.
Gamer moment.
Oh.
So, but yeah, that's kind of like the
Mhm.
things I did today. I had like these really awesome bagels, had like poppy seeds and like sesame seeds on them
I
and all
want
that stuff.
bagel.
And I made breakfast sandwiches.
Mhm.
Oh,
I hope y'all don't hear that.
I don't hear anything. You're fine.
you made a breakfast
Oh, okay,
sandwich.
good.
We'll get to that because I got something to add to that. But next is Bree. How you doing, Bree? How you been?
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to today.
Oh, Mario.
Sounds like the person like at Walmart. Like, hello, welcome to Walmart. I don't want to be here. That's what it sounded like to me.
Yo, one time I went to Fridays and the guy who opened the door was like, "Welcome to Miller's," and then he was like, "We're not. That's not where we are."
That's me.
Where we are.
Man, what have I been doing? I've been making art, kind of, and not finishing it.
Mhm.
Playing video games. I recently got back into Stardew Valley,
Very nice.
and I bought the Mario game because I am a
Mario.
victim to Nintendo monopoly.
It'd be like that.
Uh,
How is your own metric that I'm gonna like trademark?
I'm trying to think because we haven't done the podcast in a bit, so I'm.
Has been a hot minute.
There's been a lot of foods. Like my sister's birthday was last week, I think. We went to a Cuban restaurant, and it was so good. There was like empanadas with pork, and then empanadas filled with Cuban sandwich things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a Cuban sandwich, and I've been obsessed with it ever since. Like, I've had a Cuban sandwich before, but it reminded me that I like them. I just don't like the pickles. No pickles on my Cuban sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
We got to the restaurant though, and like the guy was like, "You only have an hour and a half because we're really full today." And like they handed, because it was my sister's birthday, so they handed her like a mango. I think it's a tres leches cake. I think that's what it's called. And no one else got to order dessert because they were already kicking us out at that point. So I was like, all right. I mean,
No
I stole
cake
some of
for
her
you.
cake. It was still good, whatever. And then next week we went grocery shopping. I wanted to make my own Cuban sandwich, so like I got her like a little roll, or like the bread, the one that looks like it's supposed to. I have I have a griddle, so I did that. I only had honey mustard though, but I mean it was basically the same
honey
thing.
mussy.
Because
Honey Mussy.
I don't like that sentence or
Fucking love
word.
Honey Mussy.
Stop.
Honey Mussy, so good.
God, I hate being here.
It's not the podcast if I can't make the co-host want to fucking just
God.
get out of
And
here.
You bring my boyfriend on, and so it's
Yeah.
even worse.
You're welcome.
But no, I just made a Cuban sandwich and no pickles because pickles are stinky. And I had a lot of smoothies this week because I actually had energy to make smoothies, and smoothies are extremely pog champion.
Mm-hmm.
Also, wait, I'm not done. I
Oh,
went to a
shit.
Wait, there's more.
I went to
I
a
am Belly
wonton
Maze.
place. So good.
Yeah.
They just have like everything. You go to the place, it's like a little I guess like family owned business. You go to the wonton place and it's like they have like monthly flavors and stuff, and they have like, you know, like you go, they have like spinach and artichoke, buffalo chicken, Philly cheesesteak, bacon mac and cheese, and it's so good. And they have dessert ones, which the monthly ones last month were based off of Girl Scout cookies.
Interesting.
And then they have the normal ones that they have all the time, which are banana and Nutella, and like I think like a cheesecake one, something like that. It's really good. It's extremely pog champion, and we took frozen ones to take home, and I still have to make them, and I don't want to eat them yet because they're really good, and I don't want to waste them. that is my metric. That's all I have to say.
Very
The
nice.
Brie metric.
The Brie metric.
The wee Brie.
The Brie. I've been all right. I've it's been
No one
an
asked.
interesting. Oh,
No.
okay. That's the
Sorry.
podcast, everybody.
This is not your podcast, okay? You don't have to be.
I don't want to be here anymore. The guests made the hosts quit. The co-host.
Hi guys, welcome to the podcast.
At least I don't have no responsibility of recording it.
You have no power here.
God, this is a bad idea.
Oh, it's gonna be great because I don't remember half this film. Anyway,
Yeah,
before we get into that, I've been good. I've been all right. This could be better, could be worse, but I'm here. I'm doing shit. Just been playing. God, what have I been playing? Because it has been like what, like 2-3 weeks since we've done this, something like that. It's been a hot minute. Been a hot minute. So I've been like, I played Monster Hunter Rise. I've been playing a little bit of that on stream. Been playing a little bit of Disco Elysium, which is now
Ooh.
fully voice acted. So I had to go back to that. That's been good. But Monster Hunter Rise like sucked me into like that whole gameplay. So I was like, all right, we're gonna play this for a hot bit. We'll get back to the other one. We'll get back to the other game eventually. Oh, I did upload 2 videos. One we're not going to talk about because it was for a certain person's birthday. The other one, I think I made a series. I don't know. I just made it randomly. But that's about it. I stream some YouTube and anime. I've watched a lot of anime actually. Me and Salty have been watching like Fire Force, and she's been watching My Hero,
Ooh.
catching up to that, like rewatching it. And I think we watched Way of the House Husband, which just came out the other day, which is really good. Yakuza dude becomes a house husband, and it's as great as you think it is. Just the animation's not fully there. It's just like they animated a manga, you know, like they just took those panels, a lot of still stuff. but
Among Us?
Among Us. I'm the imposter. Yeah, that's been about it. For Brie metric of the week, trademarked by Klaus McHamster. I heard it.
You know, I am going to sue you. Oh
Can't
my
sue me.
god.
Oh my god.
The dog agrees. Fuck him up. You brought up spam, Kittyman, and like I retried spam a while ago, and
Yeah.
like I remember this because I was very proud of it. I made a breakfast sandwich with spam,
Oh.
a Asiago bagel, because you know to piss off Brie because she does not agree with this whole thing with a
Okay,
breakfast sandwich.
listen.
No, I'm not done yet. I gotta get the details. It's my moment to shine.
Continue.
I was very proud of it because everything turned out well, and this was like a week or two ago when I made it. But we had an Asiago bagel left. This is all Salty's idea. I just made it, and that's why I'm proud of it. I'm a shit cook. And I toasted it. I put just regular cream cheese on it, so got a little bit warm, a little melty, right? I fried up an egg, so it was like had the yolk on it, and I fried up the Spam with it, all in butter. And then I had I think I had pepper jack or Swiss, one of the two, and I put the egg top of the Spam, then I put the cheese on top of that and put a lid on it so it would melt quicker. Threw that shit on the bagel, and it was perfectly just that runny yolk, delicious.
Ew.
Don't ew me.
Sorry.
It's delicious.
It's amazing.
I hate runny
But
egg.
I did learn, Spam is very salty. It was good.
Yes.
But it was very salty.
Sodium.
Yeah.
What is it just ham in a can?
It's like
it's
ham, pork.
Yeah. You should
all
look
over
it
the
up.
place.
Just look it up.
No, I think I'm good.
It's a foreign meat in a can that you just like take off like a
That's
can
a
of soup.
mystery.
It has its own hook thingy. Which I think it always had that even before soup decided like, hey, let's do that too.
Soup.
Oh god, I think I just exposed how old I am. I remember when
Oh,
soup
no.
cans didn't have the pull easy tab. You had to get a goddamn can opener. Yeah, I had that. I'm actually proud of my cooking lately, actually, because I've been having
Pog.
brats. We had brats, which is part of like a $5 deal at Safeway. It was like
Oh, nice.
brats, a bell pepper, and buns for like $5. There was something else in there, but like Salty had the idea of it too, because she's the idea person when it comes to food. I just cook it occasionally. Is that I sauteed the veggies, then I put the brats in there on the pan. I didn't have any beer, so I couldn't make beer brats with it, but I would just saute the shit and then just cook it and then like put that in a toasted hot dog bun, and it was good. Yeah. Actually, I just remembered a sauce that we tried making too. You ever had fry sauce? Have you guys ever had fry sauce?
Like French fry sauce?
Yeah, it's French fry sauce, but it's like it kind of reminds me of like the place called Freddy's that have their fry sauce, which is like mayonnaise, ketchup, and pickle juice all mixed up together.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We made
I
our
have
own.
something like that. Yeah.
I know a lot of like restaurants have a version of fry sauce, but they are all different.
Yeah.
Slightly.
Yeah. Ours had like the mayonnaise, ketchup, but we put hot sauce in it and a little bit of like onion powder or like garlic salt, one of those two. I think we made 2 different little batches of it with a little bit of pickle juice, and we just mixed that shit up. And that shit is good on a hot dog bun and just like hot dogs normally, like get that shit cooked and like just a little bit of ketchup on it. Fucking fantastic. Don't hot dog. I swear to fuck.
I will not.
Be quiet. The grown-ups are talking.
I am being bullied. I am being cyberbullied. Comment down below to prevent cyberbullying.
Hashtag save
One like
Bree.
equals one prayer.
But that's been a week of stuff. I've been very proud of it. Like, just trying different shit, cooking stuff. So that's
Pog.
yeah, I think that So I don't know where I was going with that. So I think we should talk about movie. That's where we're gonna go about it.
guess.
I
Yes.
guess
That is what we're here for.
Yeah, we
Are you
did just
sure?
spend 20 minutes just talking about food, but I think that happens every podcast.
It's true.
Yeah, it's
Food's like important, man. You know.
It
it is. It's delicious. That reminds me, actually, my anniversary is on Monday, and I'm very excited about it because we're gonna go to this place called Black Bear Diner, and they have chicken and waffle. And it's chicken and waffle because they put like fried chicken on a Belgian waffle, and that's
Yo.
that's a dinner, and I'm like, it's gonna be delicious, and I'm gonna cry because it's good food, and I cry over good food.
Keelan, we should have burgers for our anniversary.
I think we should.
Pog champion.
Yeet. Anyway, I wanted to get that out because that made me very excited because we haven't had
Food
Black
is
Bear in a long time.
poggers.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, we should probably add that in the podcast occasionally, like what the whole point of this fucking podcast is, because like the new viewers be like, they're just talking about food. They're shit talking
Can I
each
click
other.
on the right
Honestly,
podcast?
we should do like a food podcast at some point. Shit.
Yeah, I think
be
we
cool.
just could just talk for like an hour, and it'd be mostly arguments. Like basically,
Yeah,
when
because
Bree,
Mhm.
we get mad at each other.
yeah, and like I said that once. The salty is like, one of these days I'm just gonna go in a huff to like the bedroom, and she's gonna ask, "What's wrong?" It's like, fucking arguing about bread, fucking bastards. Like, you know, like just always something's gonna happen, right? But yeah,
They don't like Reese's peanut butter cups.
fucking assholes. So, what Attention Not Included generally is, it's not always talking about the Bree metric of the week, trademarked by Klaus McHamster. But we watch movies or shows, occasionally with our all three hosts or with a guest, and then we talk about it. And today's movie that we were gonna watch another movie that we had planned, but when Kittyman had to join, I saw it right before I was gonna get the movie ready, called Happy Time Murders. And I was like, you know what? That gives me Kittyman vibes. I know many not people may know about Kittyman, but he's a chaotic motherfucker. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
We live in a society,
agree with
you know?
this?
Yeah.
Do we live in a society? he is
The
chaotic,
Joker,
but I
is,
love him.
Is my
Joaquin
my
Phoenix.
hope is he's
That changed my
Joaquin
mind.
Phoenix.
But I just saw it for a split second for just the cover of it in Netflix for it, and I was like, Kittyman vibes instantly. It's like that was
Yes.
we had to watch it. And if I understand correctly, Kittyman has seen it. I have not seen it. Bree, we all know.
I'm sorry. I know I don't watch movies. I get it.
I'm sorry. I'm extra bullied today. I apologize.
It's because I'm here
You give off that vibe.
bullying the hell out of Bree.
So that's
Bullying
what we
your own
watched.
girlfriend. Wow.
Wow.
Sweats at the time I yell at my wife. She yells back. Then I sad.
That's the funny thing too, is like every time we hear like you and Salty like going at it about stuff, you guys like most people would be like, "Oh my god, what is wrong with him? That's so fucking mean."
Yeah.
And then
That's
me
just
and
us.
Bree are like, "Yeah, I love you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it."
It's true. I don't want to. I love you. I love you. I don't. You don't want to be too mean. I love you.
I wish you were more mean to me sometimes.
I can't be. I get to a point where I like call you stinky. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
I've
it.
been called much worse, and then she's over here like, "I don't want to call him stinky."
This
That's
is
just
the
not
weirdest
nice.
bondage porn
It's
I've
just
heard in
not
a
right.
while. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, Bree, call me
Just want you to
stinky.
be mean to me. I can't. Fuck.
Call me stinky, Bree.
No, let's talk about the movie.
Yeah, let's talk
Yes.
about the movie.
I feel like we're also like this because of the context of this movie. Holy shit. So Happy Time Murders is a Muppet movie pretty much, but rated R. It's Muppets rated R. Like hardcore. And it is starred, was it Melissa McCartney? I had to look it up.
Melissa McCarthy.
Yes. And it's essentially a cop movie, but with puppets, and it's rated R. And it's like, sweet Jesus. There's like Muppet racism, and like it's
It's
crazy.
wild.
Yeah. So
And
I guess
the son of Jim Henson directed it.
yeah,
Oh,
I saw
Yeah,
that. I
the
was
son of
like,
Jim
what
Henson
the
directed
fuck?
it, and it was produced by the Jim Henson Company.
a
Yeah.
new era.
So it's literally Muppets. They're I just like the
Muppets.
fact that they're
Colin
canon.
Muppets.
That's what they are. that there's a studio out there in the Jim Henson Studios of just these Muppets in there, and like, let's just get into the film because there's scenes that I want to talk about.
There's scenes that I don't want to remember.
It starts off like an old cop movie, basically, of like the main guy who's like narrating it, going down the highway, talking shit, in his head. And it all starts off when he gets to his office. He's a PI. The guy, what's his name? Phil Phillips.
Phil Phillips.
Phil Phillip. I don't know who voices the Muppet. I tried to look it
Probably
up.
somebody.
Bill Beretta.
Bill Beretta
is the guy's name. Yeah. Sorry, I have the wiki up just in case we have to.
Oh,
No, that's
you're gonna be our
perfect. Thank you.
trivia guy.
just in case we have to we have to
Mr.
fact
Trivia
check.
Man.
You have to fact check this thing, okay?
Of course.
Yeah, he apparently has done a lot of like Jim Henson, like he's a puppeteer and he's done a lot of Jim Henson stuff. Bobo the Bear
Which
Not-
call
is
it?
apparently
Not
one of
sparking.
them. I think that's he's a little brown bear, right? Bobo the bear, not the fool. That's
You
fine.
are Bobo
I
the
am-
fool.
I am Bobo the
It's,
fool.
it's not helping me at all. I don't know my Muppets very well. It's been a while since I've seen anything
Understandable.
Muppet wise.
But there's just a picture of him with the what's that weird like little red guy?
Elmo?
Oh, the shrimp.
No,
Little
Shrimp dude?
the shrimp guy.
The
Yes,
French shrimp. I remember. Oh,
Yeah.
I
I
think
have
I
no idea
remember.
what's
Does he
happening.
have a hat?
The
The bear?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know who you're talking about. Really? All right. Now I
What?
feel like this tainted some people's
Yes, Pepe the King Prawn.
yes, he is French. Now I feel like we've tainted something in my memories for the Muppets in this movie now, because now I'm all right. I feel disturbed. Anyway, because I'm thinking of some specific moment. Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, it starts off with that, but it starts off like with any cop movie. There's a dame, I guess, lady. It feels like I need to use terminology of these 1920s like movies, right? It's like
Oh yeah,
a dame
yeah, like a
walks
noir
into his
movie.
office. Yeah, it gives me like a rated R raunchy like vibe of that. And she hires him for a case. Her name's like Sandra White or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
She's redheaded,
she's redheaded.
like fire. That's important.
It is very important. And hires him because like someone's like trying to frame her, asking for like $350,000, some shit like that.
Yeah, they're like, we know your secrets. So what's your secret?
Oh my god, I had
Yeah,
to write
I
that.
thought it was funny that like she's so worried about, her secret getting out, and then she's like, oh yeah, so like I have a lot of sex.
Yeah, she said specifically, I'm a Ima or something. You can go.
She's like, I'm a. I'm like, a what? He's like, I'm gonna get next to you and I'm gonna fuck you.
If I'm a next to it, I'm a fuck it.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah.
I wrote that down in my notes. I was like, and so it begins. Oh, and then that's how what starts off with the story pretty much. And as it goes on, he like finds a clue in the note of oh god, what was it? It was like a letter from basically a Muppet porno mag. I can't remember the fucking name of it. That led him to
It was
place.
like because it was the P.
Yeah, it was.
He noticed the P, the font of the P. He's like, yeah, I've seen that before. And then, like he like goes over to the fucking the local porn shop, and he's like, do you have? It was like, my gosh, what is it?
Kept rattling off like random names too, like trying to find the magazines. It was like, oh my god, it was weird.
Like, why do these exist?
Yeah, and also like, it's just like I don't want to get too detailed in his movie, but when he gets there and he talks to the guy, he opens up the curtains, and in the background there is a fucking octopus jacking off a cow. And the guy's like, oh yeah, I'm making my own content because the internet's ruining me. It's like, so it's just Yeah, there's an octopus milking off a cow.
Yeah,
You know, it's udder and it's just milk everywhere. And I'm like, all right then. This is where we're going. Like we should have known with the Ima, but this is where we're leading down with. And as he's there,
I'm back.
you're back. Did you find the name?
No.
Oh, I don't know why, but when he said that, it's like I feel like he just went down an archive. Like he went to warehouse.
you did
13.
like you said like I don't know, I don't remember it. Let me go find it, and then you muted and like
Yeah,
No,
I thought
there
you
was-
left.
So, because I want to go ahead and say this now.
Yeah.
So, because while we're here, no, my sister comes in and she goes, "Hey, did you use that blue rag to dry your hands off after you wash your hands?" I'm like, yeah, why? Because there's a blue rag, like, just, kind of laying on the, thing where you put like rags and stuff that you're going to
Mhm.
dry your hands off and all that. And I was like, yeah, why? She's like, I use that to wash the toilet with. I'm like, why
sounds
is
like
it
something.
there?
Yeah.
Why
What?
is it so I have washed my hands 3
Oh.
times and used that rag the last 3 times I've washed
Oh,
my
no.
hands.
Please
And I'm
wash them again.
Yeah.
oh
You
dude, I
might-
just dumped hand sanitizer on my hands right when she said that. In fact, I'm gonna give me another fucking hand fucking that shit.
Yeah, I thought for some reason like I don't remember the name. Let me go down. You went to your library. Like you just went down like the aisle with like those ladders that slides down like the bookcases. Like you just went and zoomed down it. Like how do I find it? And you came back with that story.
I will find him.
That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a porno, and I
Yeah.
forgot what it was called, but I should have
I-
looked it up.
it
I
led
I
up
guess.
to the
do
store.
remember that he was looking for the letter P, and then the guy at the counter was like, "Oh, you like P, huh?" And he's like, "No, no."
There's jokes like that everywhere. Oh my god. Yeah, so yeah, he was trying to get evidence for it because like, hey, can I look at your records to see who bought this, and he's like he does that, and of course in the background when he's going there is a fucking porno of a cow torturing a guy dressed up as a fireman. That
God.
was interesting.
No, it was a
dog.
It was a
It was a dog?
Dalmatian.
Yeah.
Dalmatian. That was
Because he was a fireman, which is
Yeah.
but he was like she had like a German accent too.
It's
I have in quotes here on my notes. Bach for me, bitch.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
The detail
God,
on
I
this shit is
hated it.
ridiculous.
I
Oh.
hated it, and she was like whipping him, and he was like, "I don't want to. This is horrible."
He had like a ball gag in his mouth and all that stuff too.
God.
And as the main character goes back there to find the records, some person in a trench coat with the hood up pulled out like a shotgun on the people, and it seems like it's like a robbery or some shit. And they all get killed. And so he's like, oh shit. Like after he sees it all, it's like, oh fuck. And that's when the police show up. And then we get led into Melissa McCartney's character, Edwards. Her last name is. I'm just calling her that.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of how it all starts off. It's a murder case now. The whatever the secret is, which now that I think about, not the greatest thing of just like they're gonna tell everyone you just fuck everyone. I'm like, okay,
Okay. That's weird.
yeah,
You also
yeah,
just told this guy.
Well, I
your
thought it was
secret.
because
yeah.
she was like, well, I have a reputation of holding this got out. People would
Oh yeah,
hate me forever.
yeah. And so that, yeah, I'm trying to
So
remember what happened.
did we talk about the bunny guy?
Yeah, I was about to say
Because that's
the-
important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
no,
that while he's at this porn shop, he runs into this bunny and he's like, "Oh my god, it's you!" He's like, "I'm not here. You don't know me." It's like, I was like, "Oh, hey, is this your?" He like picks up one of the DVDs. He has his fucking chicks with big asses. That's like this
yeah.
puppets with like donkeys on the cover. And he's like, "No, that's not mine." He's like, "Oh, hey, don't forget your carrot," and like it's a fucking like big pink butt plug. He's like,
Yeah.
"It's not mine."
It's exactly what happened.
And he's actually one of the people that got the fucking like shit rocked by the shotgun. Like everyone
Mhm.
dies in this porn
Mr.
shop.
Bumbly Pants. He's little
Yeah.
bunny.
And it's like noted that I wish I should remember to bring it up that Philip knows him because like his brother knows him. Like, hey, yeah, I'm Larry's brother, Philip. So there's like some information there which we learn down the road. And yeah. So after the whole thing of like the cops coming to the place, um and then like he's free to go, they're investigating it. Get like the intro for Happy Time Gang, a show for the movie, and I swear to fuck, there's like one guy on there is like, that looks like a Nazi.
Yeah, because we paused it because Bree had to go do something. We're like,
Yeah.
that guy's a Nazi. It's like, yeah, man, he's instead of the blonde hair, blue eyes, he got blonde hair, blue skin. It was like,
Yeah, I heard you guys. I have Bluetooth headphones, and I'm like, I'm like, why? What is
But he's
going
like-
on?
But he's playing a sheriff, like a local sheriff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like
And
he looks like a Nazi to me.
The outfit was very Nazi looking.
Yeah.
And it's just short of it's because I think it was because I had the patch on the arm, and that's why we're like, oh, that's a
Yeah. It was an interesting color choice too, I thought, and
Yeah.
all that. And then I think it like pans off in the like it's a TV in a cafe, and he's hanging out with his brother, who was like the cop on the show.
mhm.
Yeah,
And they're just
and
having a
Larry
record.
Phillips.
What were you gonna say, Brie?
no, just that like they were meeting up because the rabbit died, and they were on the show together. So he's like, "Hey, let me that's awesome."
This kind of
Yeah.
sucks, right? It's like, yeah, man, that kind of sucks. But hey, I got a new butt.
he also said that's where he would have wanted to die,
In a
in
porn
a
show.
porn shop.
Which is like a lore that like, yeah, I get it. You know, bunnies fuck a lot. But it's like a thing with the puppet rabbits that I've noticed throughout the whole film is that they're just horny motherfuckers.
I also remember back to like before the rabbit got shot. He's like, "No, please, I have like 28 kids or something
It was
like
like
that."
48 kids.
Yeah, 48 kids. And then he got aroused.
Oh my god, that's right. Yeah, he's like pissing like purple glitter.
Yeah.
And then like whenever he like actually kills the cash register man,
Mhm.
he's like, oh, like he drops like
Yeah, he's like
he
eggs.
drops
Yeah.
like eggs.
Like Easter eggs. There's so much here to unpack, man. Holy
But
shit.
anyways.
Yeah. They're having a whole conversation. We learn a little bit more about Phillips. He's like he was a cop once, and now he's a PI because he got disgraced, which I think we learned actually right before that because of the fucking back and forth bullshit with Edwards. Because she's like talking shit to him and stuff like that, which got very graphic on some of them. On her insult. And yeah, I'm trying to remember like after the cafe scene because like his brother was a bit of a dick. Like what happened next? Like right after that.
He left. Yeah.
And we cut to basically his brother and his little hot
Was that
tub.
next? I thought there was something in between of that because like I have that written down. Of like,
I think I took bad notes.
I think I did
No, I think
too.
you're. Yeah, I think you're right because they.
But I'm pretty.
They were,
But like I would have remembered it. But if it was something worth talking about,
Yeah.
But I don't think. But like the next thing I remember was like after that whole thing, like we see his brother at his place in like Hollywood Hills or whatever in a hot tub with a hot lady.
Yeah.
He's they're like watching like this video of like when they were partying at one point with like all the cast of the Happy Time and all that stuff, like going really hard. I remember Boofer was his name Boofer?
Mhm.
The of like he's like sleeping and all that stuff. He's like, hey, you want to? I want another one.
Just like
You also see that the Phil was dating the human lady.
Yes.
on the
Kitty?
show.
Yeah, on the show. Elizabeth.
Elizabeth Banks.
Fuck, what's
is
her
the
name?
actress
Banks.
Yeah.
Yes, the actress. Yeah, whoever
Mhm.
who she was playing. And they act like they're coming in there to break up the party. They're like, oh god, how it goes. He's like, hey, we've been getting some complaints about the party that there's no tequila. He's like, oh, he used to be so fun. I don't know what happened to him. He's like reminiscing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and two of the puppets are like making out. He's like, yeah, check these guys. They're making out. Yeah, they're cousins. They're married
with
now.
kids now.
Like what?
Okay. I remember the intro of that scene. I thought we got rickrolled. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, that's right. I have that written down because it was literally dun, dun, and I'm like, oh god, do I have another tab up? Because it was like, no, it was part of the music for the scene. And I jumped. I really should. I got jump scared by a rickroll, dude.
Yeah, the whole scene was basically just like, show everyone on the cast and like, I was like reminiscing. And she gets up at like he asks her to go make some more margaritas or whatever. And I remember this joke. I had to write it down. And when she gets up, she puts on his robe. It's like, I like your robe. It's like, yeah, that blue matches my pubes. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's so much
jokes throughout
this,
the
man.
movie are just like
matter of factly and just like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, very raunchy humor. And this came out like 3 years ago, 2018, which is like, fuck, this feels like an early 2010 movie almost. Like, Jesus fuck. It feels way older.
Yeah.
And so as she goes to make the margaritas, it like pan away, like goes somewhere else in the house, and it's the black figure again, but there's like a kennel, and
he's got dogs.
Yeah. The fucking
dogs. They're just dogs.
They're just dogs. They don't know any better.
They just see toy and just like
they fucking rip the fuck out of Larry like he was a chew toy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
They basically released the dogs, and the dog just started ripping them up. And this girl, she's just vibing, dude. She's like got the blender on, like, and she's just like doing like a little like do like I'm just blending. And she turns around, not hearing anything. She's like, oh god, oh no, wait.
Tries to help, rip his arm off, like
yeah.
It's like, no, bad dog.
Yeah. So he's dead now.
Yeah, he got killed by the dog.
Yeah, he got like torn to shreds in the crime scene. They're like sitting there like, oh man, I can't believe the Phillips is dead. You know, this is gonna be bad for his brother. Then like Phil Phillips comes in. He's like, I gotta see him. I gotta see him.
Get out of the way. I gotta see my brother.
And then like oh my god, that's where the lieutenant of the police station is what's his name from The Office? I always called him the Stanley. Yeah, the hentai guy. And he's like, no, you don't want to see him this way. Because like fucking he's all over the place.
Yeah.
This poor puppet. And then like Melissa McCarthy's character comes in and she starts like throwing out like insults and all that stuff because she's being very matter-of-factly about it, like, oh man, this poor puppet, is like he looked better on the outside or some shit like that. I don't know, but she said something very insensitive and it pissed off Phil Phillips. He like knocks her into the fucking hot tub. They start like fighting and he like bites her titty. She's like, I get your teeth on my tit.
Yeah, and then she bites his
It's like, oh, you bit my balls.
It's fucking wild. And in that scene, I guess like right after that all happened, they got him out. The lieutenant's like, you're all working on this. He's a consultant. And we learn more is like, because of him, puppets can't be cops, which is like a lore point to this. It's weirdly has a lot of like background lore for the world that this is in, which is very surprising.
There's a lot of world building in
it's weird. It's fucking weird, man. I'm like, they put some time and shit into this. Yeah, and as that happened, their first lead was to go check on the guy that ran the show? Was he the producer or something? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the guy from Mad TV.
Yeah,
Look what I
Thomas.
can do.
Fucking hell, man! It just like all rushes back to me every time you say that. It's like, oh Jesus, war flashbacks of Mad TV.
What was his name? God, that character. I just remember.
Yeah, I think Thomas was the character. I don't remember his fucking name though, because he's just one of those actors, right? Like,
Yeah, you just see him. You're like, oh, hey, that guy.
oh, I know him. I know him.
Stuart.
But what's his
Stuart.
name?
He
That's
plays
what
Stuart.
It was.
Little?
Fucking
Stuart. It just kind of comes back, you know. Oh god.
Look what I can do.
Yeah, he's just this really tall dude with wearing clothes that are way too small for him.
With white face paint and there's like blush on it.
He's like pasty dude.
Mm-hmm. God, I hate it. Another thing that makes me feel old as fuck now.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Anyway,
Anyway.
he's the guy, and he's like more Muppet racism with this, and they're trying to get like
they're all everybody's so racist in this
to
movie.
the Muppets. Yeah, there's Muppet racism in this. I'm
Yeah,
like,
they're just like, oh, they're so stupid. They don't know anything. And then it's like, oh, what'd you say? I don't know why I'm giving them a fucking Charles Bukowski voice or whatever his name from Aquatine. Oh
yeah. And I don't remember why they were going there. They were trying to get the whole cast like they're where they are now or some bullshit.
because they figured out that someone's like has a hit out for them, and that's when they learned that like the less people that can get like a cut of like their residuals from the show, since the show's like canceled, the like more money the other like cast members get.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. And it's like I had to write it down. I have quotes in here, man. It's like, don't mean to cup your balls. And he's like, she's trying to distract him.
Yeah.
That quote comes from she's trying to distract him so Phil could get the information
Off the desk and all that.
Yeah. And he keeps looking back. And he's like, oh, yeah. They're saying some like Muppet racist shit. Like, oh,
yeah,
to like touch
keep
your
him-
balls.
Yeah, because there's like balls. They're like he's like don't touch my balls. They're made of Tibetan wood. They're very expensive. He's like, sorry, I didn't mean to cup your balls.
God damn it. And then he says some shit. They knocked him out with his balls.
Yeah, because he keeps saying more
he-
racist shit.
He got tired. Yeah, he kept being racist, so he just took one of the balls and just knocked him out, like right in the head, and it was the loudest sound I've ever heard. It was like, I was like, and she's like, "What was that for?" And he's like, "I couldn't." I was like,
Sorry,
"There were
I couldn't deal with it.
There were other ways," because they were trying to distract him and have it be really subtle that they stole it. But he's like, "Nah, I'm not dealing with this."
We don't do puppet racism here.
And so since they have like they got the information they need on the whole cast, I guess. The first person they went to was Lyle. Is that was his name?
Yeah, the blue black guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Or the purple one.
Yeah. And he's like in this like weird back alley place. Like he has an auto shop.
He's like part of
and
a gang
auto
now
shop.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they go there, like, hey, no humans here. And we learn that she has like a fucking puppet liver. And I'm like, thinking,
Yeah.
how does that work?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. So they had to
then
make
they
her
do
prove.
drugs.
Yeah, and the drugs, quote unquote, is just sugar. It's just sugar and candy, and that's the drugs to puppets. Essentially. So it proved
Yeah, they snorted with a Twizzler.
Twizzler.
With Twizzlers, and it's just like the powder, and like the you take like little sticks or whatever, and you put them in the. I think it is, or is it just like really glittery, like sugar? It's just very, very sugary glitter stuff. That apparently
what it was, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but it was just basically like
Yeah.
think like really highly concentrated corn syrup and in like glitter form.
She
that would
basically
put
had
a
to
person in a normal human being in a diabetic coma for a month.
she
but
had to prove that she was puppet
Yeah.
enough to. So she had
Are you puppet enough?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she
Like,
takes
they're
it.
like, we don't have humans here. She's like, oh, well, she's not human fully. Like they play it off like it's an insult. He's like, what the fuck does that mean? And he's like, oh, he's like, we'll tell him. He's like, I have a puppet liver.
No shit. Like basically had a whole moment like that. All right, do this shit.
They tell her to prove it. So
she takes it and she like passes out for a second, like she actually went into coma. It's like, oh man, sorry to kill your dead human friend. He's like, Phil's like, wait for it. She just gets up. Oh, that's the good shit.
Yeah.
Just cracks out on it, man. This movie is a treat, honestly.
Yeah, and I think Phil goes to ask the guy some questions and stuff, and then the figure, the shadowy figure, comes back, but it's just a car,
Mhm.
and like I don't remember
they
how
gunned
that.
them down.
Yeah, and
Popped out of nowhere.
While
really.
she's like getting
she was in the
high
bathroom,
in the bathroom.
doing I
I had to write this
off the
down
candy.
before that, man. Is like she was like playing poker, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, with the
And
Russian dog
drinking-
that kept calling everyone
yeah,
bitches.
yeah.
Drinking maple syrup. 'Cause that's booze.
And
That's the
the dog
booze.
was being really sexist, and he's like, all right, she's like, all right, and she just beats up everybody in the room,
Yeah.
and she just goes off, dude.
It's really impressive considering that it's like real people like basically fighting puppets, and so I was
Yeah.
really impressed by like the whole like
Yeah,
choreography
And
they
then
had to do with
she-
that.
she basically like beats the big bulldog up, and he's like on the ground, and he's like, okay, you apologize to those nice ladies.
I am sorry, bitches. He's like, "Ah, nicer tone, don't like the dirty words.
I had to
He's like,
write it down, man.
I
Like,
am
nothing
sorry, beautiful women. And like he's
Yeah.
He's like, there you go. And just like, and she's like, see, isn't that nice? And the girls are like, yeah.
nice, yeah.
I had to write it down, man. And it's like to point out, it's like nothing like Melissa McCarthy fucking up a hideout full of puppets. Never knew I needed that in my life, but I got it. I got it today. And that's where we got to her. She's doing that while Phil's trying to get more information out of everything. And of course, the fucking Lyle gets fucking killed.
Yeah,
there
he
was a
gets
whole
killed off
moment
in
about
the
that.
drive-by and all that
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah. And it's like it's starting to like lead into that thing, right? With like these type of movies. Without the puppets, of course, but like the cop movies, like, so you're always at the scene of the crime before we get here when all this shit goes down, like that type of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It very much is like your typical like cop movie, just with
Yeah.
raunchy humor and puppets, which is
Raunchy
honestly not
puppets.
bad. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't as bad as I was expecting it, because I remember being like a little like, okay, so this is just this type of movie with puppets. Okay, I got you.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing too, is when I first watched this movie, it was New Year's Eve.
Mhm.
And
were very
we were
drunk.
very drunk. So that probably skewed our opinion on it. But I remember we were just losing our shit every time stupid shit happens. And then watching it again, I'm like, oh no, this movie's actually kind of funny. Gonna be honest. It has its moments.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, it's a movie.
Yeah.
That I like to tell people whatever they're like, oh, is it any good? Like it's a movie.
Mhm.
Like it's not for everyone, but I mean, if you like that kind of humor and all that stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
But
totally.
But yeah, you're right. It was as they're like, getting interrogated by the Lieutenant Larry, or
She's all drunk.
not Larry. What was his
Yeah.
name again? Leroy.
I don't
I
know.
don't, they just
He's
say
from The
lieutenant. That's all I.
Office.
Oh, from
Oh,
Office? I don't know that character. I never watched The Office.
Stanley from The Office.
I'm gonna
I
call
don't
him
know
Lieutenant
his name.
Stanley. He's
Okay.
Lieutenant
Valid.
Stanley because they just call him Lieutenant.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's like super like fucking high and all that stuff from the glizzy
The glizzy? Wait a minute.
the glizzy sugar. And she's like, what do I do? He's just don't talk. Like I'm like I'll handle it. Be natural, or whatever. And then she's like, well. So he's like asking the Lieutenant Stanley's asking all the questions all day. He's like, well, so what happened here? He's like, well, we think that all the murders are connected to the Happy Time gang. And she's like, can I talk? Sure, yeah. So we think the murders are all connected to the Happy Time gang. I literally just said that.
That's the whole bit. That's the
And-
whole thing
yeah,
with
and
her.
he had to be like, yeah, she's on like cough medicine, you know, she's
got a
she's
cold.
just,
She's
you know,
fine.
she's got a cold.
Just gets a little loopy.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. Drugs are a hell of a thing, especially when it's
Yep.
sugar.
Yep, sugar.
I don't remember how we got to it next, but I think we end up going back to his office. Which, by the way, he has a secretary named Bubbles. I can't think of the actress who plays it, but she's also
Oh.
like one of those
Maya Rudolph?
She's in everything.
I
Yeah.
believe her name.
she's in everything. She's great. I think that sounds right. Yeah. And when I think that's when we get back to his office.
Yeah, Maya Rudolph.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She he gets back to his office and she says, "Oh, Sandra White is back." That's her name. The client, the original client. He's like, "Oh shit, I
Mhm.
forgot all about it."
Mhm.
Best scene in the movie. Honestly,
You
it's
are
the best scene.
incorrect. You could never be so wrong.
No. So, of course, she's there and like he's just there talking, and she's like, wants to fuck him.
They sent another.
Oh yeah, it starts off with another letter.
Yeah,
You can
he's like,
explain it.
oh yeah, I forgot about that girl. Whoops.
and it has a picture in it. It is like a picture with the only human character from the Happy Time, and
Mhm.
she's like, I guess she's a stripper now. She's like fucking like riding the Sandra's like a fucking like crotch or whatever. And he's like, oh. And she's like, what are we gonna do? He's like, oh, I don't know. And then yeah, stuff happens.
Yeah.
Nathan.
All right, we're back. We had to take a moment. So you were Kittyman was explaining the scene back at the office, and it was like a new letter, and it was like the only human, like with the new letter is a photo in the letter, and it was the only human in the Happy Time show that was now a stripper, and that all
Yeah.
leads slightly to, I think, seriously, one of the best scenes in the whole film.
God.
Like you can't argue the fact it is like the best
She also
scene in the
said
film.
she's gay.
Yes. Bree's take on that whole scene.
That is my important part. That she says she likes to have fun with ladies too, and he's like, who doesn't? Which is a good point.
And she like throws her leg like up on his shoulder. He's like,
yeah,
what's
trying
going
to
on with
seduce
that?
him.
Yeah.
And what did he says, "Oh no, I got the little back of like voice in the back of my head. This is probably not a good idea." And what did she say? She was like, "Tell it to shut up and watch." I'm like, what the fuck? This movie weirdly has some like really good lines, and I like.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's kind of weird. And so yeah, we get puppet sex next. That's the biggest
Oh God.
Oh, yeah.
important scene. Puppet sex
Oh, yeah.
happens. And as
Oh, yeah.
puppet sex happens.
Keelan, I swear.
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
The lieutenant
Sex.
the lieutenant comes during this when he's fucking Sandra.
He's not the one
in his
fucking
office.
him.
Not the lieutenant, no, Phil.
Jesus.
Lieutenant comes to the office
Lieutenant
with
Stanley
with a new guy, which is Joe McHale.
from the FBI. Yeah,
From
Joel
the
McHale.
FBI.
From the
From
FBI.
the Community and the Soup, if you ever watched that fucking show on the E channel years ago. I feel like it's like another old age thing. I keep pointing out my age. I hate this. And as that happened, and it's like fucking the weirdest sex talk. I'm a caboose.
Yeah.
She's like choo 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 choo.
Yeah, and then he goes faster, and then she starts making train sounds, and it's really weird.
I'm the caboose. I'm the caboose. Fucking some weird ass shit, man. And he's going. He's like, oh shit, I'm gonna go. And he just jizzes fucking everywhere. It's like silly string jizz.
You
He
can
goes,
see it on the window, like the lieutenant like is seeing it just happening.
yeah, like on the
through the
glass
door.
door. Yeah, the glass
Yeah.
door on it, man. Oh my god. And he's like, I'm getting lightheaded. I'm getting lightheaded.
And then he has more left.
It's like stops, and it's like a second win of a jizz fountain, man. Like,
How do you have that much?
he's very repressed. He has a very
Yes.
tense job. He had a lot of stress to release. Oh, and then it just finally ended, and she opens up the door, and she's like,
Yeah,
"Well,
and-
be on my way." And she has like jizz in her hair on the back.
And she's like, I hope your meeting's as satisfying as mine was.
Oh,
It might have ruined Dolph's character, like takes out the fucking Windex or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we have to
clean all
Clean that
that.
up.
clean all that.
She
She's,
offered
like,
them a
trying to
snack
be
while
all
they were
non-
waiting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they can
she-
hear and see all of this.
She
stuff
also
because, like, you're like,
turned on the girl turned on the intercom, right? And then you could
Yeah.
hear it through the
Mhm.
thing.
and fucking this Bubbles is her name. The
Yeah, Bubbles.
secretary is just trying to be all nonchalant. Like, don't worry about it.
like
Don't
this
worry
happens a
about it.
lot more often.
You guys,
than
you
people
guys, you
think.
guys want a snack? You guys,
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be a minute. He's a little busy right now, but you know.
Yeah. Oh, what was like Joe McHale's character was like, "You see, this is happening. What I think is happening." Then they get pressed up against the door of the
The
fucking,
door.
and she's like, Bubbles like, "I mean, what do you think is happening?"
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know. What do you think it could be?
What do you think's going on?
So anyway, that whole scene happened, and the whole reason why the lieutenant and this new guy, which we learn is an FBI agent, on why they're there is basically it's literally what you think is gonna happen. They think he's the one doing it, right? It's like they want to bring him in. Like, we got some questions for you, and he's like, "All right, yeah. Let me just get tidied up a little bit," and he just jumps out the window, right?
Yeah.
He just jumps. You're
He just-
crashing.
Yeah. Trying to get the fuck out because he's like, "Ah, shit, I'm being framed for this," and he ends up going to the Jenny's workplace. That's where he
Strip
ends
club.
up next. Yeah, he goes to the strip club. And there's a cop up there, so he has to sneak into that place. And that was a scene with Elizabeth Banks that I never thought I would see an actor or actress
Right.
do. Of like being sexy with a carrot with the rabbit puppet.
Yeah, they were
She, like,
3
shaved it.
rabbits, and they were God, it was so weird.
Trying to be all seductive. He's like, "Oh yeah, the carrot. And they're like, bite it. She bites it. He's like,
bite the tip. Like,
I heard another line from this movie that was great. One of the fucking rabbits is like, "Oh, I made carrot soup."
we're not in the Briar Patch
Didn't one of them
anymore.
say like, yeah.
Yeah.
One of them was like, there's like a Peter Rabbit in my pants or something.
Yeah. So many lines, dude, honestly. And that happened. That did happen. And he sees Philip, and they go talk. I mean, because he's worried about her because they had a thing, which we kind of
Mhm.
learned a little bit, but we got more confirmation that yeah, they had a thing. And he's like worried about her and all this shit, just about what's like. I think he was like just wanted to make sure she was all good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mostly, yeah. And yeah, as that happened, he walks her to her car, and they're having this heartfelt moment of like, oh, maybe they could work out because it was a lot of like because of him being controlling and all that, where they broke up and stuff like that. They loved each other.
And then
What?
they kissed, right? I think
Yeah, they did
had a
kiss.
kiss. And
Yeah,
she
and he
walks
was-
off to her car, and it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll see you soon. And it's all in that, and then she blows up, and
He's
Just
like,
blaze
"Oh,
over
no."
that. Yeah, she just blew the fuck up.
Like,
That
it was like
means-
from a car bomb.
Yeah. So that means like there's like now 4 murders, like
Mhm.
4 people dead, and of course he's at the scene of it, and the cops that
and
were
the-
outside.
Yep,
Oh!
yep. And he's like,
This-
oh man, I gotta go.
I gotta
He runs
go.
off. Oh god, what happened next?
he goes to Edward's house.
Yeah,
Yes.
apartment, and like breaks in, and he
He
starts like
breaks
cleaning
in
up
and
everything
he
because
yeah,
she kinda has
he cleans her
she may or may
house.
not have an addiction to the sugar stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because for some reason the puppet liver makes you a fucking junkie whenever you have sugar. Like that's just like it's just cemented. It's not like which is something we probably should have questioned earlier, but it's like I don't think that's how it fully works with organs.
No, it's fine.
But, oh, okay.
Don't worry about it.
It's fine. It's fine. Just go along with the story. And after he cleans up the place, which she was like passed out on her chair weirdly, like she was
Yeah.
Yeah, he
playing
was
it.
asleep.
And he passes out on the couch, and we have like a flashback dream scene of what caused him to not be a cop, and which we did learn earlier, which we didn't say, is that because of him, they I can't say the word. Put in
Instigated?
place. Yes, maybe.
Oh, like,
Uh,
maybe no, that's not it. But you know what's up. Words are hard, man.
The Phillip code, which basically makes it so puppets can't be cops because the way
Because he fucked up so bad.
yeah, basically.
And
made
I
it
think they
seem-
even said that like earlier too, like whenever they were arguing at the one of the crime scenes, and he's like, you know, he can't be a cop. You know why? Because of the Phillips code. It's so bad that they named it after him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like a racist thing too with the puppets. Like,
Yeah.
oh, puppets can't shoot other puppets. I'm like, what? What the
Yeah.
fuck? And that's like it was implied throughout the whole movie. And we finally get a more detailed scene of what
Mhm.
happened. Was that it wasn't the fact of what they thought it was. He just fucked up and missed. And like because what happened was I gotta explain the whole thing. I
Yes.
was ahead of myself.
Yes.
So the situation was Edwards got taken by a guy with a gun, pointed the gun at her head, like hostage, I guess, for a split second.
Yeah, it had her hostage.
Yeah.
It was
So-
another puppet.
Yeah, it was another
Yeah.
puppet. And she was like, take the shot to save her and stuff. He takes the shot. It misses and it hits the
Mhm.
concrete beam behind them. It ricochets and kills the
Some
A random
random
bystander,
like,
yeah,
guy,
like
yeah,
dad.
and he's
And
right in front of his daughter.
Yeah. And but she was able to right after that happened, was able to get the guy off him, and I think she got shot or was shot already. I don't remember when she got shot. But
No, I think she got shot. But yeah, she gets shot. Yeah.
Yeah, but she did fight him off, and she got shot, so she's bleeding. She actually sees the dad or like the father that was murdered of that, and like she's bleeding out, and like, oh shit, we gotta help her, but something she's gonna die. There's only a puppet hospital.
Yeah, which is why she has the puppet.
Yeah.
He's like,
liver.
you need to save her. He's like, oh, dude, we don't do humans, man.
Yeah.
And then he pulls out a gun. He's like, you do now.
Yeah.
Like,
Here's a question on
he's
that
like,
scene
you do it or
too.
you die trying.
Yeah, exactly. Did they just have like a random liver, or was it part of his liver?
I think they
I
just had a
mean,
random liver.
Yeah, probably because it's a hospital. They probably had like
They probably have them laying around somewhere.
yeah, just, but like
That's like
especially
where my
since it's
brain
a
went.
puppet hospital, it's like I'm sure they have.
But
Like a
that's like where my
Build-A-Bear.
brain went with that. Like my brain went logical real hard of like you have to
No,
go
it's
on
just
a
like a
waiting list.
Build-A-Bear.
Oh yeah. Like, my brain went full logical of like there's like organ donors and shit, right? Like like it takes a while to get that shit. That shit ain't just lying around. There's a waiting list. I'm like, wouldn't it be the same with puppets? Apparently not. It's a Build-A-Bear factory.
Yeah.
That's where my brain went. I don't know why. That was the only thing. Like, I don't know, man. That shit don't add up.
That don't shit out.
Don't shit out, man. Don't make sense in my brain cavity. Yeah, and then like during the dream, he's like, wake up, Phillips. She wakes him up, and like had that whole conversation. You clean my fucking house? What the fuck?
Yeah,
Like,
she's
I don't
like,
know where
she's
else
like,
to
what are you
go.
doing? What are you doing in my apartment? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? She's like, I cleaned your house. She's like,
I
who
cleaned.
does that? That's like stealing somebody's car and changing their tires.
Yeah, putting new tires on. There's so many good lines, and it's fucking insanity. And then she gets a phone call about the situation with Phillips, and um, oh no, okay. So there was something that happened before he ended up at her house, because I remember the phone call was leading to another victim. They had to go
Mhm.
find Goofer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
Goofy
god, I
Goober.
almost forgot. Yeah. It's like I thought there was something. I couldn't remember. Um, she went to go find Goofer, which they found out he's basically a crackhead now. That's
Mhm.
literally what it was. She was
Mhm.
asking around, and he's like, "Oh yeah, just check the one den or whatever." And he's just like, he finds him, and he's all cracked out, trying to suck her dick for like 50 cents. Like that was
She's like,
literally
yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
thing.
She's like, she's like, I don't have a dick. He's like, but I mean, that's a really good offer if I did have one. He's like, so can I suck your dick?
Yeah, and then he like lunges at her, and she's like, no, slaps him backwards.
Passed
Like,
out for a
okay,
split
no.
seconds, and then came back awake like, "Ugh."
There were also two, like, I guess hooker puppets on like a ceiling beam rail, whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey fella, or something like that.
Everyone at the
Like,
station
They're
was
like, hey,
mad, dude.
handsome.
yeah, and
Having a good
she's like,
time.
I'm not a guy, and she's like, and the two puppets are like, I mean, that works too. That's good. That's even better.
even
And I was
better.
like, yo.
There was like a long pause, like they had to think about it. Like, nah, it's all good.
Yeah, it's even better, dude.
Yeah, I forgot about the whole scene because after all the things that happened with the dream and being in the apartment, she gets a call, told about the situation with Phillips, and Gopher's body washes up on the shore. You know, and they go
Poor
Yeah.
there.
Goofer.
Yeah,
They have to like
Goofer.
ring him out and everything.
Oh yeah, which is
They're like,
like,
all right, guys, don't look, and it's literally like wringing out like
The excess
fabric.
water from,
yeah.
from the poor guy.
Poor Goofer. He never stood a
Poor
chance.
Goofer. Goofer was the man. I liked
Mhm.
Goofer. I don't know
And,
why. I just really liked Goofer.
And yeah, Phil was stuck in a cooler, so Edwards could like check out the crime scene and bring him along, and then they get in their car, and she opens the cooler, and he's like stuck in the cooler.
And they like talked
Wh-
about the whole situation of like what's going on, and they figured out there's now only 2 people left from
Yeah.
the show, which was the kissing cousins.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So they decided, all right, let's go check on them because they have to be the
She also
culprits.
tries to like pull him out of the cooler and like grabs his balls.
Yeah,
Grabbing my
that was-
ball.
Oh god, that was your foot.
yeah. He's like stuck in there, and it's really funny because he just like violently like shakes inside the cooler trying to get out, and it's
Yeah.
like he's having like a seizure, and it's just really funny.
Yeah. This is a good moment. And so they decide like, well, they got to be the culprits then, right? They assumed that. They thought it was them. And so they go to the last known location, which they know for a while was outside their jurisdiction anyway. But they decided to go
Yeah.
out there because, well, I guess they already been breaking shit. He's a fugitive, so why the fuck not? And as we go out there, we see a billboard sign of the place, and then their like sign for the restaurant, I guess, which was like, I think I wrote it down. What did I say? Like, oh my god, the kissing cousins are a cult with ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally like religious, but they sell food like barbecue ribs. I'm like, oh
Mhm.
shit. So yeah, and that was like that whole moment when they got there. They were getting ready.
We're forgetting a very important part about the radio.
Oh my god, yes. Please explain, Bree.
Basically, I forgot what song was playing. There was a song playing.
It was very sad, like or a somber song.
Yeah.
I bet I could find it.
I thought it was
Okay.
like something about like I thought like they showed the title of it in the subtitles. 'cause
I
they had
don't
the
remember
subtitles
what
on.
it was, but it
It
was
was
like
something friends.
Yeah. And basically
'Cause
Phil
they're
was like,
having
"Hey,
they're
hey,
like
turn
having
it off."
a kind of a heart-to-heart kind of thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About how like, oh well, basically I don't blame you, and like it's good to have you back, and whatnot. And we're gonna get you through this and all that stuff. And then the song starts. So he's like what the hell is this? Like,
Yeah, it's like it feels like turn it off, like turn that off.
it's like a
And she's like, I'm
tampon
trying.
commercial
It's
in
like,
here.
it's like a tampon commercial. Like, and she's like, it's not me. It's not me. He's like, it is. It says Edward's phone. It says it right there. It says it's your Bluetooth phone. She's like, it's not me. It's not me. I don't even have that song. And he's like, turn it off. Turn it off. She's like, all right, you know what? She pulls out her gun. She shoots the radio. She shoots it off. He's like, Jesus Christ. It's like, we want it off. Now it's off.
Yeah, they just start laughing like, what the fuck?
They start laughing about it, and she takes out her phone. She goes, "Oh, it was my phone."
Oh, there it is.
It's like, Jesus, shot the radio, dude.
Fucking crazy. It's all that sugar got to her.
It really was though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they get to the restaurant.
Mm-hmm. And so thinking that they were the culprits, they're the ones that are trying to get the money from it and all that, right? They put on their Kevlar, which she still has his. Like, oh, they care about him. All that jazz. Getting all
No,
ready.
she's just a hoarder.
She's just a hoarder.
Yeah, she's like, I'm a hoarder. What? I'm sorry. I didn't do it for you.
Yeah. So he goes in the front. He goes to the back. They break in. They find they heard screaming right in the middle of getting ready. Too.
Mm-hmm.
So
and it
did
keeps
the whole
like
thing.
the screams keep happening the whole time.
Yeah.
And as they broke in, looking for him, and she finds the source of the screaming, which is like, I guess they're two kids.
Their offspring.
Yes. One
The
has
cousin's
like 3.
offspring. yeah. The girl is like, there's something, whatever it is.
She's
like,
screaming into the mirror.
Like into the mirror, and they're like, hey, where's your parents? And the other one like looks, he's like.
Yeah, it's like 3 eyes. One has 1 eye. Like, oh my god.
That's like,
she's like, that's why you don't swim in your own gene pool.
yeah, that's why you don't marry your cousin and have kids with them.
Yeah. And they're like, oh.
Oh god.
And it just like lets them back to whatever they were doing.
Yeah, there's like, all right, we're just gonna go away from that. And then they Phillips and Edwards meet up in the middle of the hallway, and they're trying to be quiet and all that stuff. And so he's like trying to be quiet. He's like whispering to her like to say stuff in like a way to like get her to read his lips. But he's a puppet.
It doesn't work.
She's like, chili porn? What? he's like, no. He's like, you're a puppet. You just flap.
Yeah, it's like a fluffy vagina or something like that. The writing was really spot on, and they just yell out, and they eventually found them. They're already murdered. They're just
they're
in
dead.
their bed.
They're
They're fucked.
Yeah,
and
heads are,
of
like,
course,
chopped off.
on cue, the cops show up and to frame Phil again. So
Yeah, because they the killer is still there, and it was hiding behind the door, and it pushes Phillips out of the way, and they try to go chase after him. And then as he goes out the front door, while the murderer gets away and goes down a totally different way, the FBI and the cops are already there. They're like, freeze, put down your gun. He's like, oh, okay. And he's like Joel McHale's character, the FBI agent, and he has like these thick fucking aviator glasses on, and he's like, put your gun down now. He's like, I'm putting it down. and she comes out, and she's like, oh, she's like, oh shit, cakes or something like that. And she's like putting her gun. He's like, put that gun down. He's like, I am. He's like, no.
And this goes on for like another minute, and it's like already on the ground at this point. He's like, put that gun down. She's like, it is. And he's like, put it down. Put the gun down. She's like, it's on the ground. He's like, put it down. And she's like, Jesus Christ, it's been on the ground. And he takes off his glasses. He's like, oh sorry about that.
My bad. Arrest these guys.
Okay.
Does she go like idiot says what? He's like, what? He's like,
yeah. Asshole say what? What?
Yeah. What?
And so they get arrested and they get brought in, and Joe McHale interrogates, I guess not really interrogates, questions Phil for a second, and I don't remember why, but he leaves. Then the lieutenant comes in, the show what was going on. And what
It turns
was
out,
Sandra White was
um,
actually Sandra Peterson. That's the name that they were going
yeah,
with. Saying
that's
that,
their name.
yeah, is like framing Phil, saying like they've had an affair for a while,
Yeah.
and that she was married to Jenny, and that he said he would kill all the gang just to get the money or some shit like that, so she can get all the money.
And we
they
could
go
run
off.
away together.
Yeah. And she said they've been having an affair for like months when really they just had like one.
Yeah, one encounter.
Yeah.
And as that all happens, there's a very key moment which I don't want to say what happened, but it's very important to the plot.
I'll say
it. Yeah.
So out of something of basic instinct, as she's being talked to by Joel McHale, she like uncrosses her legs and like you see her fucking purple pubes.
Yeah.
And then crosses them again, and they're like, oh, I guess the carpet doesn't match the drapes.
Yeah. You know, the second, like, this is getting a little ahead, but they like flash back to it later, and like the second time I noticed, I was like, they really went out of the way to put a certain shaped felt. It was like purple pubes, and then there was like a little pink.
They put the time and detail into it.
It's like a little almond shaped pink piece of felt, and I'm like,
oh.
No! It's like, I didn't want to see that.
And that's very integral to the plot of the movie.
Yes, but yeah, we'll get to that.
And so, yeah, they learn this moment. It's like, oh, it's all bullshit. It's like, well, there's nothing we can do. And they send Phil off the fucking jail. And as they're leaving, she's like, this is bullshit to the cop. And he's not the cop, the FBI agent.
Lieutenant Stanley. Oh, no, that's right, the FBI agent.
Yeah. And he was just saying some racist shit, which got her suspended. And she was just saying some shit outside, leaving, which was funny as hell. Like, this is my charger, dude. It's like, you didn't get it back.
Like, talking on his phone. He's like, that's my charger. Like, yanks it from him, like throws his phone down. Yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah, just burn all the bridges, Edward. Just do that. He's like,
yeah. And you're not a real redhead.
We all saw the fucking.
She's like, yes, I am. Like, no, you're not.
We still at the one community
family
bullshit.
picnic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much hair coming out of choke a horse.
Yeah. And then he goes to the one guy. He's like, I wish I fucked you. He's like, there's some time.
As he's leaving, and he sees some fucking like bigger like dude with like this awful like pedo mustache, and I was just like, it's not too late.
What? It's not too late.
Yeah. And that whole moment happened, and I can't remember what led to it. What happened after that?
Goes back to her apartment, and someone else has broken in. Bubbles is now in her apartment. And Edwards is like, what? Like, why is everybody breaking into my apartment? Like, what?
Bubbles like nonchalantly. It's like, yeah, I can lockpick. It took me like under a minute.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
Damn.
And she was basically like, I need your help to get Phil back and out of jail because we both know that he's been framed and all that stuff.
So,
because she's like, we have to get him out. You know what they do to ex-cop puppet in prison? They'll tear his insides out and they'll stuff it in a pillowcase or something like that.
Yeah, they're gonna take all his stuffing out and put peel off inside of him.
They'll put it in a peel off, and they'll they'll
fuck him with it. Yeah, it's called peel offing.
Yeah. God. She's like, okay, I get it.
Like,
instead of a peel off, he's more like mashed potatoes. She's like, okay, I get it. She just keeps going.
Yeah,
she does.
And as that happened, they decided. Oh wait, they learned. Was it Bubbles that learned that like
that
Sandra
White never existed up until like 2 months ago, and so the only thing they found was like an apartment up in Hollywood Hills or something like that. And so they go there.
Bubbles brings a banana.
Yeah,
course,
Bubble,
yeah.
because Bubble once asked if she can have a banana, and she's like, no.
She took the banana.
Then she ends up taking
She
the banana anyways.
She ate the banana.
Mhm.
She's like eating it in the middle of them, like going up to the door of the apartment complex, and like Edwards is about to break down the door and all that. So she's like, no, dude, you're so dramatic, and like puts the banana. No, I think she tells her to put the banana away, and then she just takes out her lock picking set. She picks the lock and they're in and all that stuff. And so they're looking around. It's like an totally empty apartment. And they're like, why the hell is this like? This hasn't been lived in at all. Why is this totally empty and all that stuff?
They're like, this doesn't look like 2 women live here.
Oh yeah,
it just looked like a hotel that has never been touched. I also want to talk about the fact that she put the banana back in her purse and it was like half open.
Yeah,
that like naked banana was touching all of the other things in her purse.
That would have bothered me too, honestly.
Yeah, that's very valid.
Like, why? Stop.
It's like, I got banana all over my keys.
Banana on key.
There's banana on my phone. This is not banana phone.
This is not banana phone, Apple phone.
And as they're searching, Edwards realized that there's another room that like looking outside that's hidden, and it's behind a bookcase. So they moved it. There's a lock on it, of course. And Bubbles like, I'll just lockpick it. He's like, no, I got it this time. Edwards goes to kicks it, and oh my god, I think I wrote it down. What happened afterwards? She hurt herself. And she's like, oh shit, I broke my hymen.
Yeah, it's so just bullshit. like I sprained my hymen, or like I something like that.
She says, I think I just ruptured my hymen.
Yeah. Which I was thinking. I didn't say it, but I was thinking, how does she still have that? How does she still have a hymen? Because contrary to popular, sexist societal traditions, normally you break your hymen as a child when you're like riding a bike or like, just doing normal things. And the fact that she's a cop and she's never broken her hymen is
sturdy.
Bit concerning.
It's sturdy hymen. Just took one
there's
kick
no
on the door.
There's no way that she didn't break it. Like with all of the action that she has to do. I don't understand.
For so long. I never lost my virginity because I never lose.
Creature.
So that happened, and Bubbles like, I'll just fucking get the door. She unlocks it. She's like, oh, that was quicker than the actual door. And as they went in, and it's everything they need. It was Sandra master planning this whole thing. There's like the string making like the connections, and they notice a thing on just a little shrine almost to Phil Phillips saying die as a knife going through a photo, eyes crossed out. I was like, what the fuck? Why does she have such a thing against him? And then Edwards sees a photo of the guy and the daughter that was shot back in the day when, like, that got Phil fired. And Bubbles is like, oh, that puppet has purple hair. That's very rare, the little girl. And then we flash back to the scene where she exposed her vagina. Sandra exposed her vagina. It's purple. Like, wait a minute. And it was the little girl, all grown up now, getting revenge for the murder of her father. And of course, da-na-na. What a twist.
But it's like all the evidence is here. This is great. We could show this to the cops. Like all of it's here.
Yeah.
Then Bubbles sees a tape recorder, and this is like a little post-it note that says play me. She's like, oh, okay. She presses the button. Edwards is like, no, and the entire room sets on fire.
Yeah. And there goes all the evidence. So now we know it's that person. So Edwards and I think it was just Edwards goes to the jail to where Philip is to go talk to him, which is funny.
He's currently getting the shit beat out of him. Like one guy's like holding him and the other guy's like beating him up, and he's like, I don't have any like bones, right, dude? Like this is just It's like you're
You're just
stuffing
fluffing a
pillow,
pillow.
fluffing a pillow. And like the other guy that's holding him is actually like really hurt because he's just been getting fucking the shit punched out of him the whole time. And they're like, hey, back away from him. And, you got a visitor. And he's like, oh. It's like, really? And you realize it's Edwards that wants to talk to him. And he's like, oh, thank God you're here. I thought I was going to get pill off.
And so she explains all that, what happened. There's no evidence now, but like, we gotta like, I don't remember what led to it, but they knew where she was gonna be. I missed that. I've been missing critical points.
Because they knew where she was going to be because she was going to get on her plane.
Oh yeah.
To leave.
Yeah, Sandra was going to leave. And how they learned that.
I think they learned it from the
evidence.
The evidence.
Okay.
Okay. Let me watch the movie again real quick.
Pause the podcast. We gotta double check.
But yeah. So I think I think they have to like go stop her.
Yeah.
And I think they just know that she was gonna be at the. Do they?
I don't remember that. I don't remember how they know.
They do.
That's what I'm wondering.
Just assume?
I don't know.
Because like what happened is like they gotta break him out to go after her, but I'm like, how do they know? And because like what happened was like what led to that was that like, all right, I got a plan to get you out. She shoots him in the arm.
Yeah.
Fluff everywhere.
And she's like, we got an officer shot. He's like, whoa! Zooms in on his face.
Yeah. And now he's in an ambulance.
Yeah, and the guy is wrapping his arm up.
Gauze.
He's like, and he's
more
like,
Muppet racism.
It's like
it's a waste of gauze.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
She always has to be like pretend to be racist to like trick these other people, and it's I like what? She's like, yeah, I know, stupid puppets, right? Like, shut up, and then she grabs like chloroform and it's like, hey, does this smell like chloroform to you? And the guy like obviously passes out.
Mm-hmm.
And so they now have the ambulance. Like they took both guys out, but how the fuck did they know to go to the airport? Because they end up going to the airport. I don't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, but like,
I think that's a plot hole.
Maybe, I don't know.
And honestly, I don't. Either it's a plot hole or we're not paying attention all that much. And if people want to fucking argue with us on the podcast, like the comments or whatever, fuck you. You are not going to sit down and watch this movie just to prove us wrong. I'm calling you out right now because on this movie, it's not worth sitting down and watching just to prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong. Fucking do it. But if you have seen this movie, please let us know down in the comments. Because like I don't remember how they knew, because they end up going to the airport. Yeah, they end up going to the airport. And he's like, all right, here it is. He's like, I'm going in alone. I don't remember the little dialogue, but he ends up like cuffing her Edwards to the steering wheel. He's like, I'm going in alone. And he does. And which, by the way, I think it's funny that Sandra had the moment of like, all right, I gotta get a wardrobe change. I got changed to all white. She's all white, staring out to the window at the plane with the two suitcases, which is like, I guess, all the money from the movie. Because that was like the big thing that everyone thought it was.
The residuals and all that. Yeah,
that's like what we like. I think Kittyman said it earlier. The whole reason why this like everyone's dying, so the one person gets all the money. Which now that I also think about it, I don't think it works like that. I don't think that's how that works.
The entire movie, I was thinking, like, oh, like, it's for the money, right? Because they go the money. And I'm like, isn't the show, like, not on anymore?
Well, and Larry did say, like, circulation. Like, there's actually some shows that make more money being off the air and being in circulation on reruns.
Mm-hmm, syndication and all that stuff.
Syndication.
Yeah, like, they just make money just all the time from royalties and stuff.
Yeah, that's a total
Because
thing.
that's just like if it's in like their contracts and stuff. Like I know the cast of Friends probably still makes a fuck ton of money just
Yeah,
because of all the syndication from Friends and all that stuff.
mm-hmm.
Stinky.
100%. And I think that's that. I guess that was the money. But how does that work though? Of like less money being split, like
in Puppet World,
weird.
They started talking about it. It's like, oh, like different people get different cuts, and like when there's less people, other people get bigger cuts. And I'm like, is that how that works? Like if someone dies, someone gets their cut. Like if you have like a cast of 5 people and one of them dies, I don't think that 4th person gets that person's money. Like I don't know if I don't think that's how it works.
If that's the case, I'm still waiting on that murder mystery of Friends cast. Like fucking Jennifer Aniston killed everybody so she make the most money.
Yeah, it's just such like a weird thing. And then you go back to the earlier scenes of the guy who's in like the gang, and he's talking about like how all the money is gone because
he
wasted it. And it's like, so he's not getting any new money. So how?
Yeah, how does that work?
So weird. I don't understand.
Anyway, that was the moment that made me think of like, how does that work? Anyway, he confronts her. She is there, and she turns around. I don't remember the dialogue, but next thing I know, a plot twist. Jenny lives, and they're like actual things. Sandra, and Jenny are an actual thing, and he like drops down the gun because Jenny has a gun at her at his like body person. She's also dressed out all in white. I love the color coordination. What a power couple.
Lesbians get it.
And it's very true. And so he's like trying to convince her. He's like, she's just using you for your money, Jenny. She's just using you for your money. And she's like, well, did we have to kill him? Jenny to Sandra.
Wow, that was like a spot on impression.
I don't think we need to kill him now. And fucking, I don't remember what happened next, but
Sandra,
all
like,
I know
slaps her and knocks her out with the suitcase.
She's like, I want a divorce.
Oh yeah.
By the way, did she die? Because we never see her after that.
I think they knocks her out.
You're right though. I thought, I don't know, because I remember like I remember Jenny going up to Sandra and being like, oh, do we have to kill him? Like, you could just leave. Like, we don't have to. And she's like, just do it, baby. and then she doesn't want to, and then she gets knocked out, and then that is the last that we see of her, because I assumed that we were gonna see her later and like her be like, oh, like I'm sorry, I guess she like manipulated me or like so, but we just don't see her again.
Yeah, we just don't.
Yeah.
And that happens, and a bunch of guys in suits comes out of nowhere. Which
she has like henchmen.
Yeah, she was like a supervillain. Like, come out, grabbed him to go throw him into a jet engine while she gets on the plane, a different plane. So there's another plane active with its engines on. She goes on a completely different plane that's like a private jet. I feel like all the like plot holes are happening right now in this film. Like they're
all shoved at the end.
It makes me think that like they had a lot of this like planned out and like well written, but they like went back for like rewrites and stuff towards the end because they couldn't figure out what they wanted to do for the end, and it shows.
Yeah, which actually I have a trivia on that later. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a little something I learned about that. But we'll talk about that after we talk about the movie. So that happens. Edward's is struggling to get out of the car at this point. She's trying to like she like does founds like medical instruments, the little hammer that does your knee thingy. She tried to use that to break the cuffs. So she's like, why is it so tiny?
Trying desperately to escape from the handcuffs.
Yeah, totally. And I've never heard that phrase said to me at all. And
what? Today I have learned, and I did not want to.
Anyway.
Sure, that's what they all say.
And she like just is trying her best, and she's just like pulling on it, and he's like pans back to him, Philip, and he gets thrown into the jet, but he's holding on for dear life. And next thing you know, she comes out of nowhere, Edwards, with the steering wheel.
He's like, yeah, one of the henchmen's like, bye bye puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something like that.
and
She's like,
he's just
bye bye
hanging on
bitch.
in the yeah.
It just
I
beats
forgot
the
what she
shit
hits
out of
him
him,
with
man.
though.
The steering wheel, it was still on her hand.
Oh yeah, because I think she ended up having
She just ripped it off. She just put her fucking crackhead energy into that.
Yeah.
Just ripped the steering wheel off. And just had it for a weapon until she could save him to get the handcuffs off. And that all happened. She saves him. She got the steering wheel off. He has like a fucked up ankle somehow. I don't know how that worked, but he has a fucked up ankle. And he's like hobbling to the plane where Sandra went to. But so Edwards just ran off, of course. She's in the plane. And
looking for Sandra, yeah.
Yeah. And she's like a goddamn spider monkey. Just came from the ceiling on top of her, on top of Edwards, and she just then leaves.
Has a gun pointed to her head.
Yeah, it's like, deja vu.
Deja vu. She literally said that too. Yes, Edwards said that.
She said that. She also he also said that. No, I think she said that she's like a spider monkey. She's like, because he was like, how'd she get out of these? She was like, I don't know, man. She's like a spider monkey.
And he said something. It's like, that's why I fucked her, or some bullshit like that. Something about him having sex with
something
her.
like he's like, oh, that's kind of why I did it.
Yeah. So we got this whole moment again, and it's like a whole intense moment to do it and to take the shot and hope not to miss. And it pans back to the flashback a couple times, and like the flashback,
he's like having
scene,
like he's having like different it's like just basically come up to this moment of like flashbacks to like the thing that happened. He's like, oh no, I don't know if I can do it. I can't do it again.
Yeah,
and, like it's like different
moments.
like scenes like kind of coming up and fading out and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it goes to the moment.
Scene with
the cow
and the cow getting milked by the fucking octopus. He's like, why is that in my head?
He's like, I just can't get it out. He got scarred by that moment. Then he takes the shot. Then he takes the shot. And he doesn't miss. Of course. That's how that works.
Hits her right in the head. Like square in the forehead. So Melissa McCarthy's character's dead. And
what a twist again!
Wrong person that he hits in the head.
He hits Sandra like right smack in the forehead.
Yeah, and like, oh, it's a relief moment. She says a joke about her being dressed in all white or whatever. I don't know. And then it pans to them.
She's basically like, yeah, like, good job. And it's like a weird thing. Like, she's relieved, but all of a sudden she's like, wow, good job. Like, you did great. You did like, good job. It's like, why are you talking to me like that?
She's
and then,
phoning it at
she
this
said
time.
that she said that the Sandra looks nice and white. Or she can pull off white or something like that.
Some shit like that. And then it pans to like them with the cops showed up. There's ambulances. They're getting all checked out. He's getting his shit checked out. And he's talking to Bubbles because she got there to see how it all went down. He asks her out. Little thing. Because like that was like a weird, not the greatest tension, but it's there a little bit of them. Oh, they could be a couple. Just a little bit.
Yeah, because I thought what was going to happen was Jenny came back and was like, oh man, like, I'm sorry, like, she manipulated me, or like, like, I didn't mean to hurt you or anything like that. Because they did that whole thing where they're like in the middle of the movie, like, oh, we could start over, we could try again. And then Jenny just disappears. The last we saw her, she was knocked out by her ex-wife.
Yeah, they don't even show her like arrested or anything. Like, she's just like, oh yeah, well,
that was it. That was the last we saw of her. Yeah, and I was like, okay, that's kind of weird, but all right, I'll stick with it. Yeah.
So that's their happy little moment of like, oh, they're gonna be a beautiful little couple. And he goes back to Edwards after that whole thing, said what happened, and then as they were talking, I think they're like saying they're all good now. I guess this is like the tie everything up kind of moment. Like, all right, we're good. Lieutenant comes in, says, "Good job, you guys. I knew you had it in you." I was like, "Did you really?
Did you though?
Did you really?" And he's like, "Well, you did a good enough job." And reinstates him to be a police officer. Oh no, he's like, I'm gonna talk to the commissioner about getting the Phillips code removed, and that's gonna happen. He's like, what? I was like, yes. Also, I've been waiting on this day forever to give you back your badge. And he's like, oh, you're gonna be a cop again. That whole moment.
Yeah.
And then the FBI agent comes in, says some shit like, well, you guys seem to do okay. Like,
Okay.
okay. Lieutenant's like, he was a goddamn hero or some shit like that. And then that was a whole like funny moment to make fun of him. They did the joke again.
They did the joke
Asshole
again.
says what?
Asshole say what? What?
They did it repeatedly just to make sure he's a dumbass.
Yeah, and then like he still
great.
didn't get it towards the end. He's like, yeah, this was a fucking big idiot.
Yeah. And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
and they
kinda
showed
just
some
ends.
Just ends.
bloopers.
Oh yeah,
It
some
ends-
bloopers. Yeah,
Bloopers, the I Want Candy song with the puppets. And,
like singing it all.
Yeah. And I think we just stopped in the middle of that actually. Like, no, we watched the whole thing.
Yeah, we watched the
did
whole thing.
We did watch the thing. I just don't
It was
remember.
kind of entertaining because it was
Yeah.
very interesting seeing like how they like did these scenes and all that stuff, and like I think like in the sex scene, like the thing that they had him like to thrust broke down. She's like, "Oh my god, did you break down, honey?" He's like, "Yeah, I think I broke down."
Yeah, just like that was the story portion of it, I guess. But just to talk about how it was done, those bloopers are actually really cool to see. Because I don't think I've ever seen anything like how they do
you get
shit
to
like
see you get to see how like all the puppets move and everything.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
like the puppeteers were in like green fucking morph suits.
Yeah.
to like edit them out of the shots and all that stuff, and they're on like the puppeteers are also the voice actors too, so they're actually
Mhm.
like on set like doing all the stuff and
It was
all
really
that.
cool to
It's
see.
really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we can give our overall thoughts and we can just talk about it in general. Let's start with Kittyman. What's your thoughts on it, man?
I mean, I said earlier, like it. The first time I watched it, I was super drunk, so like I thought everything was hilarious,
Mhm.
but I still enjoyed it for what it was. And then watching it again, it really isn't that bad of a movie. I know the critics like fucking tore it apart and all that stuff, and obviously, if you know what you're getting into, like it's an enjoyable movie. Really funny at times, like the quips and all that stuff. Like I know people hate Melissa McCarthy, but I think she's really funny
Really?
when it comes to comedic timing.
Yeah, a lot of
and
people
her
hate
delivery.
just like a lot of those comedians in general, just for
Yeah.
the fact that because they are like comedians, but it's like there's not really a
Interesting.
reason to hate them.
Mhm. Yeah, I know a lot of people who don't like Melissa McCarthy. Everyone thinks that
Yeah.
she's like, haha, fat girl thinks she's funny, haha. And I'm like,
Yeah,
did you watch Ghostbusters and like just judge her based on that? 'Cause if you watch
that's
her in other stuff,
exactly
she's
Yeah.
she's funny. She can be pretty funny because the
Yes.
way her line delivery and like a lot
Yeah.
of the ad libs she says are really funny. And I think I'm sure a lot of the like the lines that she said in that movie were ad libbed, and
Yeah.
I was it had us rolling.
Yeah, it was really funny.
And so I think like the actors did a great job. Like it was acting wise and delivery wise, the comedy was on point. It's not for everyone. It's like you said, it's very raunchy, and if you're not into that like kind of stuff,
Yeah.
then it's not going to be for you.
Yeah.
And I like all the work they put into it. They put a surprising amount of work into this movie.
Mhm.
From a production level and like we were talking about, like from a lore level.
Yeah.
Which kind of blew my mind. I was like, wow, they really kind of thought about a lot of the stuff. And then like, towards the end, we were like, oh, well, look, I think we're finding plot holes, guys. And, like, we didn't realize
Yeah.
that. Because usually what we'll, I mean, at least what I'll do, I'll just turn my brain off and just enjoy the movie for what it is. And I'll think about it later. And here we are talking about like,
Thinking about it later.
yeah, what happened?
It is later
So,
time.
It is now later, and we're talking about it. And now I have questions, but I know you will answer them in that. So, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
enjoyable movie, funny movie. I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah. Bree, what's your thoughts?
Exists.
Glowing review.
It's not a bad movie. It's like a pretty good movie. It's not bad at all. I mean,
Mhm.
I would probably watch it again if friends asked, just to be like, hey, look at how stupid this one scene is, or like, look at this is weird. Watch this. Like, I don't know. I think it was good, but plot holes at the end. But I mean, they
Yeah.
did. You could see a lot of work put into it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with both of that. It was actually a pleasant surprise for me of how good it was. What they were trying to pull off, it gave me a lot more of a vibe of like the cop movie, right? They get of the detective blaming,
Mhm.
which is a stereotypical movie that I have seen before, and they did that well with raunchy humor and puppets, and with the lore, the world building around the whole thing was a lot better than I expected. It was a common thing for rabbits to be horny, that puppets have to um do certain things, able just to make it by. Like the one guy at the porn shop was making porn in his back of his of the porn shop,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Octopus
It's really
milking
cool.
a cow. Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
It's surprisingly good on that aspect. And the puppets and everything about it was very well done. Like honestly, there was actually a couple moments I'm like that doesn't look too bad when it's like you see the full frame of the puppet of like
Mhm.
Phil Phillips a lot was like him just standing. Wasn't too bad. The
Like
only
yeah,
part
like
that
full
was
frame and all that stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, his legs, you can see his feet and all that shit. Like normally, puppets don't have that. Um
Mhm.
and like only one scene I was like kind of weird was when like that they went full CGI for was when they got Larry, the dogs took Larry out of the hot tub.
Yeah, I was
That
gonna.
was a
Yeah, I
little
was thinking. I was like, that must have been the scene you're talking about. Yeah, because that was a little funky too. Because you could like see like the really like crappy like tacked on motion blur and all that stuff when he's getting
yeah.
dragged out of there. I was like, that was probably the only time I was like, that was a little iffy.
Yeah. But other than
Every other
that, it was
time,
good.
like yeah, there's like oh god, like in the beginning, like opening shots, like wasn't there like puppets that are like walking with each other like
Yeah.
across the street, and
Mm.
you can
They
see them
showed
like
that in the
walking.
in the behind the scenes, like after the credits too. They showed like a bunch of green screen people like holding puppets walking across the street, and it was
Yeah.
like that's pretty cool. Like that's a lot of work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really crazy. But no, I was just pleasantly surprised by it. It was really good. Um, I laughed a lot harder than I thought I would at it, in all honesty. Because like
Mhm.
whenever first heard about it, it's like this seems a bit weird. Not
Right.
fully for me, but it had some good writing for jokes, I thought, and for some reason they just hit just right for me.
Mhm.
And it was a lot of fun. And I would probably give it like if I was to rate it, probably like a 6. I will never make Salty watch it because I know she would probably just die. But if you have like a day, just like fuck it, let's watch a weird movie. Watch it, go for it, 100%. Yeah, that's
You
my
got nothing to
thoughts.
lose
Yeah, hundred
except
percent.
your time watching it.
Yeah, and maybe Scar if you don't want to see octopuses jacking off cow udders, and shit
Or if
like
you
that.
want to watch a puppet like jizzing massive amounts of silly string
Yeah, yeah,
all over a room.
yeah, that man
God,
lost
I
pounds.
remember
He
when
literally
they
did.
showed that too, and it's just like you see the can of silly string and like the guy hiding under the puppet with like the green screen stuff and his little head's peeking out while
Mhm.
he puts the can out, like he's put his arm out and just spraying all over the room. Damn.
Like you can tell they had a lot of fun making this movie. It's like
Yeah.
they didn't care.
100%.
It's like, oh, because these all these people have worked on the Muppets for
Yeah.
years. And so I mean it's like, it must have been a nice little breath of fresh air to be able to be like, oh yeah, let's just make a fucking raunchy ass adult movie
Yeah.
that's like not for kids
They
and all that
did
stuff.
look like they were having fun, especially in the bloopers and behind the scenes stuff. Like they were laughing like
Yeah.
all the time, and like at the littlest things. Like someone like would, say one thing slightly wrong or like say a line that wasn't scripted, and everyone would just laugh and lose
Yeah.
their mind. Like it was like that's good. That's nice to see.
It was very nice. Well, the last thing we got for the podcast is some trivia, which is actually a nice thing that we started to do in the last few episodes. It's really fun to learn.
Mhm.
I got some. I don't know if you guys have
Okay.
any, but I have some. First one, we gotta talk about how much money it made.
Oh god.
This was classified as a bomb. this did not do well.
Yeah,
But
I saw that.
it made 27.5 million worldwide. 27.7 million of that was domestically. So they only made about 7 million outside the country.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And
Well,
the budget,
because the premise of the movie, it's like a weird
it's very odd.
thing. Like you watch it and you're like, oh, okay, so it's like a good movie, but like the premise itself is so like makes people like scared and like not like want to watch it or like stray away from it and just like no, that's not really like I'm good, like I don't want to watch that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And I'm going to be honest, that's not the lowest I've seen or heard of being earned outside the country. I think there's one movie that made only like 300K or some shit like that. And I'm not talking
Yikes.
about Birdemic. Birdemic is different.
$11.
$11. But like some legitimate movies only did not even make $500,000 outside the countries. And I can't remember which ones they were, but I remember seeing a TikTok on it because I follow this one guy that goes through the movie shit. And it was really cool to learn. But so it's not too bad for what it was. But when the budget for the movie making only 27.5 million of a 47 billion not billion, sorry, million dollar budget, it costs billions of dollars.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would assume it's expensive because you need so
puppets,
much
the
to produce
people.
this
Yeah.
specific movie.
Yeah, because they did a lot of like really clever, like I feel like there's a lot of, I mean, it's cheaper to do things on set than it is like post, but like there was a lot of stuff they would have had to do in post to like, hide all the actors, like cleverly hide everything and all that stuff. So that does surprise me that the budget was that much.
Yeah.
But still,
Yeah. I honestly
said
looked at
billion.
it.
I was like, hey, can you imagine Jim Henson's son coming up to the guy in charge? He's like, yeah, so like, I want to make an adult puppet movie. He's like, okay, how much you need? 47 billion. What?
Get out of here.
I'll be honest, it doesn't feel that much for a movie, I guess. Or especially a movie that was like
all things considered,
marketed as much as it was. And that's production alone, by the way. 47 million budget was production alone, does not take into account marketing expenses. Can you imagine adding the marketing expenses? Because I feel like I saw it everywhere when it first
they
came
were
out.
they were really kind of pushing it kind of hard. I remember.
Yeah.
Usually the rule of thumb, I think, is what people say is like take the budget of like or the money that they made and then add like an extra $10 million to whatever for marketing or something like that, because it's usually, or it's either that or like double it. I can't remember what the numbers were that someone said. But yeah, usually people say add this much because there's also marketing, and marketing's kind of expensive. So
yeah, it's man, it'd be interesting to see what that number be.
yeah, because they never divulge that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
For at least for marketing, they'll only divulge like how much the movie itself costs. They don't have to say anything about. You can kind of make a guess usually how much it costs, depending on how often you see it and how many like different brands kind of like you'll see like fucking like Halo with their fucking Doritos and then thrown up on Mountain Dew and shit, or like.
Oh man,
here's a popular one, Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
That marketing was kind of all over, like crazy big.
Yeah. Man, I just totally reminded me of like, did not see a lot of name brands in this movie.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of
yeah, and it still had a pretty decent side budget. That's not bad. Because a lot of people, of course, get brands to give more money. Not so much. Right. It's interesting. My second piece of trivia I got. So the guy, like Edward said that she would fuck. In that whole scene when she was barging out after getting suspended. That's her husband.
Oh my god.
That's her real life husband.
That's funny.
Ben Falcone. I think that's his name. Yeah.
That's
his name
funny.
in the movie was also Officer Danny. But yeah, that was played by her actual husband. Which is really cool.
Oh my god.
That makes it even better, honestly. I love it.
That is pretty great.
And my last one that I'm gonna tell, because this brought back to like talking about like what you were saying earlier, Kittyman, which I already forgot. But I'm just gonna read this whole thing out because it's interesting. This movie was initially announced in October of 2008,
It took them
What?
10 years to get that movie out?
No.
starring
What?
originally Cameron Diaz. But
Oh
with
my
most of the
God.
projects from Henson Company in the 2000 onwards, development trickled very slowly. At the last rumbling was in 2012 when Katherine Heigl was tapped to star it. She was going to be Melissa McCartney's character. But it wasn't until
Oh.
2017, almost a decade later, that the production got full steam and a release date was announced.
Holy crap.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that's like, I think that answers some of the things that you were saying about it. It's like they've had time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I guess just to add on to that, this was originally pitched as a serious crime drama that just happened to have puppets, but due to like spending time in development hell, it turned into a comedy.
I think it was probably better for it.
Yeah, can you
Yeah.
imagine? I don't think anyone would be
I-
able to take it seriously.
You
It would
wouldn't
have
be able to.
really
Like
good.
that's the whole.
The
It's
writing,
funny. Like you can't have
Yeah.
serious puppets.
the writing had to been top notch for anyone to be immersive enough to take
They had to get-
seriously
They
Bill
had to
People
Phillips
still
as a
wouldn't
detective.
watch it. People
fucking
didn't watch this.
whatchamacallit. Fucking who's the guy that did a Wolf of Wall Street and all that stuff?
Oh,
Martin
Scorsese.
Scorsese.
Yeah.
Fucking Martin Scorsese
Can
better
you
fucking
imagine?
written that shit.
Yeah. He would have been the only one, and he would have been like, ah.
Nah, I take movies seriously. But holy crap. I wouldn't have been able. I feel like it wouldn't have been as good as of a movie trying to take itself seriously.
Yeah, and I
think there's
like,
a time and place for that, and something like with that would not have been the way to go.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think it could have been way worse.
Mhm.
For what it was. It was meant to be a comedy. I'm trying to think of like
Absolutely.
the actresses that they would have chose. Cameron Diaz as that. I don't think it would have worked well. Katherine Heigl, maybe in her prime, but she's a bitch. So
Yeah, she's not.
kinda,
Man,
like,
I
phased
don't like
out.
her now. She's
no one liked her. That's why you don't see her much. She got phased the fuck
Yeah.
out.
yeah, she did.
So
But she got really full because didn't she like start off on like a Grey's Anatomy and all that stuff, and then
I
like
don't
became
even
like
know who
a
that is.
big like she basically was big name for a while, and then
Yeah,
like I
because
guess
of
it
that
came
shit.
out that like
and then she just started being a bitch and like kind of like oh god, there was another actress that had a bit of a problem, but she kind of turned it around a bit better once she got her shit together. I can't remember her name, but she was kind of a bitch too, and she kind of just got fired from everything. Not the first time, but yeah, I think
Right.
she could have done it because she wasn't a bad actress, Katherine Heigl. She
Not
would
at
have
all.
been all right with
She's
it.
just hard to work with,
Yeah,
and it looked like on a production like that's not something you want.
yeah, it's already hard enough getting everything going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Interesting to know. I didn't know that was God, 8, 10, almost 10 years. 10 years.
Yeah,
God.
yeah, it's nuts. But
Newts.
that's all I gotta say. You guys got anything else to add?
Let's go to IMDb.
IMDb.
We did look at reviews the last time. I'm sure reviews for this are like angry people who are like, puppets do not
Oh, I'm
belong
sure.
in movies.
The title chosen for the Italian release, Pupazzi Senza Gloria, translates to Inglorious Puppets, a spoof of Inglorious.
Uh-huh.
Did I say that right, Bree?
Say it again.
Pupazzi Senza Gloria.
Yeah, mostly, yeah.
Mostly?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking at the reviews. They seem fairly pleasant for the most part off
Okay.
the bat, which is kind of crazy. I'm like on IMDb
Uh-huh.
reviews. I see 8s. I saw 1 6. Oh, there's a 2. I want to read this one. Oh, that's it. They only have one line. comedy is the real victim here. Oh no.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, they have a lot actually. Oh, I missed the arrow.
Oh, that arrow.
God, I don't. This is like legitimately a review. I think we just need to go by off the title of that comedy is the real victim, and that's good enough for me.
It's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Are you going by like all the 1 stars?
No, I just started
Or you
scrolling
just
on
start
it.
scrolling? Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting though.
Comedy is over here. Yeah, I
Oh.
see it.
Okay, I found 1 star. We'll say this, and we should probably get going because we've been going for a while. This is a shock movie without a brain. I actually don't hate Cool World as much now. That movie at least had a solid storyline and character motivation. This was just, hey, let's have puppets do filthy things and inject agenda-driven social commentary randomly
What?
and about
What?
as subtly
What?
and about as subtly as a 2x4 up the rear, which is a puppet fantasy more than likely. Har har har. It's as if drunk stoners addicted to porn watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit and said, "Hey, we can do that." No.
Wow.
No, you cannot. This was terrible. Hollywood, just stop. You suck. That's the whole
Wow,
review.
someone's feeling a little edgy today.
Just a little dumb.
You know, you can see like the movies that they like too if you click on more of my reviews or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, that
And just to
tells a
get
lot
it, just to
about
get a
person.
taste out of it tells you a lot about a person. They probably gave like Joker like a 10 out of 10 or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
100%. Yeah, I think that's everything I gotta say, man. I
yeah.
Yeah.
think we're pretty tapped out on this movie. Unless you guys got anything else, I'll ask one more time. Anything else?
I got nothing else. If
No.
if you just have a movie you just want to watch, just fucking turn your brain off. This is it.
Yeah,
Great
100%.
moment.
You'll get a good laugh out of it. Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone. A bit of a longer one, but honestly, this thing was fucking packed of a lot of shit
Yeah.
to say.
Mhm.
And it was fun. Kittyman, thanks so much for joining us. Really do
Of course,
appreciate
thank you for having me
man.
on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna do it for us. Give it shout outs. We gotta give it shout outs for everyone. Kittyman, you are our guest. You will start. You have anything to shout out?
I got a YouTube channel. I don't upload a whole bunch on there, but I think I do want to change that at some point. Same thing, Kittyman 9000. I also stream. Well, sometimes I'll stream too. It's right now everything's kind of up in the air until I get my own place and all that stuff. But you know there'll be times that I'll stream every once in a while just to do it. I'll definitely be streaming Resident Evil 8 though in May, so be on the lookout for that.
Yeet.
And yeah, that's what I got.
Cool. Bree.
On
Your turn.
Twitch, you didn't specify on Twitch. I just want to make sure that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yes.
I'm Kittyman 9000 on Twitch too.
Twitch,
Capital
YouTube, OnlyFans.
OnlyFans? Yeah, I do have an OnlyFans.
There's nothing on
free.
it though.
There's nothing on it though. I'm gonna change
One
that.
day.
I'm gonna put VPNs.
Bree, you may go.
I do art.
GG.
I have Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, all at BreeCeesAll, and there's gonna be a link in the description because I have
Yes, everyone's links.
an
will be down
art
below.
store too, and all that fun stuff. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Definitely check out Bree stuff. Good shit.
Yeah, she makes
and,
good art.
And Kittyman, good dick.
Thank you.
I am Klaus McHamster. I am on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, all those. Just look up Klaus McHamster. You should be able to find me. I'm trying to be a bit more active on YouTube. I got a series. It's probably gonna be like a weekly little series that I'm coining games lost to the ADHD void. Basically, games I wanted to stream but forgot about, and time passed. So I just said, "Fuck it, let's make a video." There's one up, 30 minutes long. It is long. Where I played some Binding of Isaac. So keep an eye out for that stuff. Yeah, I stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday on Twitch. 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. That may be changing. And yeah, I think that's everything. You can follow me other places. Like I said, just look up Klaus McHamster. I'm pretty sure there's only one in existence because who the fuck calls themselves that?
Yeah.
So yeah. That's gonna do it for us, guys. Thank you all so much for listening. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.